welcome to a new Tech Tuesday video. I am going to be reviewing Canva and all the new things that you can do with Canva AI, which is actually pretty interesting. I want to start by looking at the design options. When you click design, you can choose whether you want to design something for social media, a presentation, marketing, cards and invitations, and logo. So let's choose presentation. And for this purpose, I'm just going to keep it simple and I'm going to do 4th grade water cycle. So now with Canva AI, it's going to tell me what type of presentation I want. Playful, educational, 5 to 15 pages, kind of balanced, and educational. And then I can choose playful or any of these other options. So I'm just going to click submit. And now it's putting my presentation together. And you can see it pops out over here. And it's giving me my sections that it's going to have. And then I'm going to click generate design. So if there was anything I didn't like in that outline, I could have said, hey, I don't like this. Can you fix this? And now it's going to give me options for which design I like best. I really like the piece down here that says Canva AI can make mistakes. Please check for accuracy. So here is the presentations. And if you hold your mouse right here, it'll go through it and let you see kind of what the presentation looks like. And then if you want to, you can go over here and take a look at the next one. You can see this is what it looks like here. At home experiment, the water cycle. Okay. And then there's another one. So you can decide which one of these you actually like best. And then you can choose. And once you've picked the one that you like, it opens up over here and you can edit it right here, or you can use the Canva editor and you can go in and edit it from there. So it is up to you how you want to work through editing this design that it made for you. Let's go ahead and go back to Canva AI and get rid of design. And you can create images. When you want to create a document, if you click type, you can see all the different documents that it can help you create through Canva AI. But what I really want to show you is this student activities piece. Once you click on this, you'll see that down here, you can see inspiration activities. So you can see activities that Canva has created before to talk about and learn about different activities. Canva does integrate with Google Classroom, so you can assign through Google Classroom once you import your classes over here. Or you can just assign it in Canva and have students go to Canva and do it once they're in your classroom over here. So if you click on classwork, you can look at get started with assignments, create a design, all these different things. So that is how you would get started with your classes. Sorry, one second. You click right here. You can go to settings, content planner, design school, all these different things right there. But what I wanted to focus in on again was creating that student activity piece. So I'm going to say 4th grade science, and you can choose which one of these do you want students to do. Do you want them to create, develop original solutions, assess, analyze, apply their knowledge, or understand? Let's choose analyze, and I'm going to say help 4th grade students analyze steps of the water cycle. And I'm going to click submit. So now what it's doing is it's taking my prompt and it's generating this. So here is my learning objective. And here are the different things that I can choose from. I can choose water cycle cause and effect chains, summarize each step of the water cycle, or mini comic strip. They transform a short description of the water cycle into a creative comic strip, illustrating and labeling each stage to show their understanding. So let's go ahead and do the comic strip. That sounds like fun. So now it's generating my student activity. Again, you can go down here and look at all the other student activities that have been created and take and move with those. There it is. So once I click on this, I can see here is the water cycle mini comic strip. And if I click on this right here, I can open it in a new tab, or I can click view as a student. When I click view as a student, what it does is it shows me what the students would see when they are working on this activity. They would see learning about evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Here's the teacher guide. So this is the getting started piece. Then here is the let's start. It's telling them what they're going to be learning about. Here are some ideas you may need. Examine the cycle. So here's option 1 and option 2. Follow the steps below to complete this section. Key information. The sun heats water turning into a gas. Why is this important? And then fill in what happens when water cools. Why does water fall back to earth? Plan your work. So this is for them to plan their comic strip. What is the first step? What happens to the water after it rains? How can you show each step in a drawing? Why is each step important? And then they're going to design their steps. Draw each stage of the water cycle, use arrows to show the water's movement, write a sentence about each stage. So if they double click, that would open them into the design feature. And here's where they would add and design their water cycle. Follow the steps to complete this section. Is each step drawn and explained clearly? Do the arrows show how the water moves? Are the sentences easier to understand? And then here is the think about it part. What was the hardest part of the drawing? How did learning about each step help you? Why is the water cycle important? So all of these are part of the student piece. And when they're done, they click finish lesson. And then they could also share it with other students as well. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to editing out of the student view. There we go. And then here is where I can decide how I want students to work on it, whether it be solo work or they're going to work through it but don't get their own copy. I usually use solo work here. So if you have any questions about all these new features in Canva, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, ask your questions. I am here to support. Thanks for watching.